So, dear Dharma friends, and when we practice meditation, our main purpose is more deeply recognizing our true nature. So, there are three major the currents that keep holding us to this samsara: greed, hatred, and the delusion. So, the delusion means not knowing reasons regarding how things come to be as they are, and especially within our own life, because we like to observe, we like to see, we like to investigate, we like to argue, but still we don't see the observer. And all over the world there are different teachings. Even thousand years this teaching come, people reach to a limit and themselves they become more confident and they think there is somebody inside this, and they observe this all outside things, but they never question the observer. So it's very simple question. If I ask you, and sometimes you when you go to sleep, that you sleep, and while you're sleeping you have a dream, and then when you wake up and you mention, I had a dream. So if you really slept, and how you know that you had a dream? So that means in the surface level, that whatever as consciousness what you experience is not the real consciousness. There is a deeper something beyond what you experience. So your purpose should be, rather than looking towards the dream, you have to see how you know that you had a dream. Who is know that you had a dream? Because while you're sleeping, if you had a dream, that if you are completely sleep, if your consciousness completely 100% sleeping, and after you wake up you cannot say you have a dream. So that means while you're sleeping there is something still awake. And when it come to awake, that there are some people having dream the entire their life, and there are some people sleeping entire their life, and there are some people come out of the dream and come out of the sleep and they awake. So awakened one, when we say enlightened one, we say another word, awakened one. From what? So it is kind of like that what we experience, what this everything, it's kind of like a dream. Why it is kind of like a dream? Because you never question the deeper who having this life. You are so feeding, you just exercise yourself with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, with the perceptions. You always exercise your life. You never question. When you see something, when you hear something, now you thinking, but you have to question not what you hear. You have to question the thinker inside you. While you eating, maybe you enjoying the food, and maybe you talking about the things, but you have to observe, you have to see who is eating really. Your body, not the body. There is something beyond your body. That's what you have to catch somehow. Even watching the TV or whatever you do in day-to-day activities, you have to see who is doing this. Is this the body doing this? No. There is something. There is a different something involving with this body. You have to learn to, rather than observing the object, learn to observe the subject. Who doing this? From where it come? So even when you practice meditation, and remember, separate the body, let the body to be. That's why when you observe the pain, when deep, try to remember this, or if you can write down later, or you can go to YouTube, because I upload this during this time, whatever. The morning we had a discussion, I got a lot of the emails regarding that talk. So I put everything to YouTube. So go there and listen again and again, note it and write down, and start to question yourself. Look, who is this? Who is experiencing this? That can you recognize the experiencer? Because that we just go with this mind, the surface level of mind, and we go the surface level of the world. It's kind of like we are in a dream. That it another way that you living, but really you are not living. This is not living. Doing things, going here and there, the people name it as a living. It is not living. Look, that few months back, whatever the life you mentioned as living, it's completely different today. You not having that life today. So then this also can be changed. So then if you say this is living, when it change, how you going to name it as living? So then few months back, if you told, oh, this is my life, now it is changed, so then that means you was in a dream. Because otherwise, if it is the life, when it change, how you can exist here like this? How you can name this as life? And how you can think something else as life? Because life itself happened, and you just complete when you really recognize the life. No, we just involving in the doing things. Remember that. Doing things, not the life. You have the life, that's why you do things. Remember, just try to get that. You have a life, that's why you doing things. So, but if you name doing things as life, it is an illusion. It is a dream. So then what you have to do? Separate your doing things and start to observe the doer. And see, what is this? Who is doing this? Then you will slowly understand the very nature of the life is inherent in you. This all the doing things is, it doesn't matter it is there or not, you going to be. So you have to recognize that is the self, because it is a deeply hide. It is very difficult to find. There are a lot of people even achieved samadhi with that self, and they believed Tattvamasi, oh, Aham Brahman, oh, I connected to the God, oh, this is, I am the universe. This, so like there is still people have that. They cannot go beyond that and question who is experiencing this. So the Buddha is the one who challenged that and went deeply and understood who is the experiencer and how the experiencer happening, how the experiencer go with this everything. That is where you need to separate things. Otherwise, you live with the world, you live with the things, and you live with the life. But you involving with the doing things and thinking it is life, but you never experience the life. As example, it's like the spoon never experience the taste of the curry. But it's all everything doing. It helped from beginning to end to make the curry. But the spoon has no power to recognize what is the taste. The book you can put on a table. Many books. You can even put the Tripitaka on the table. But the table never has power to educate itself. Sometimes we are the same. We have everything. Dharma is around us. Dharma is on us. Nirvana is within us. Otherwise, when you attain to Nibbana or when you attain to enlightenment, there is nothing light come and hit your head and you start to awake. No, there is no any angels or the unseen, the Bhuta or any kind of the aliens going to come and touch your head and initiate you and tell now you are enlightened. No, how it happened? You start to come out of the dream and you awake yourself. So otherwise it is inside us, but we never taste the life. It's like table never experience the wisdom whatever the book it carries. So don't become like that. So then how you can get into that? Many times I explain this in different ways, but I tell you a very simple thing. How you can experience the doer rather than doing things. Whatever you do, forget about the result and forget about the comparison. 100% completely put your attention to the moment. That's the way. Try it and then you will see. Even washing your cup, washing your plate, and whatever you do, even that you have the remote when you change the button, rather than thinking about the channel, if you are able to get your consciousness to the tip of your finger and recognize the sensation with the button, and because it is that much sharp, but you don't think that, you never thought about it, you just get it unconsciously, you do it. But the channel change after this, the contact complete. When the contact not complete, the whatever you want in the other side never going to happen. But you don't see this completion here. The contact with the fingertip with the remote. You have your mind so jump ahead and thinking about the next channel what you want. So like that we involving it something else, not really the doer. So like that, whatever you do, forget about the outcome or forget about any kind of that comparison. Just be with it. Even you get mad, you get angry, and now you blaming to somebody. Most of time when you blame, that you have mind to think about the reaction from the other person. No, try when you get mad, if you blame, while you blaming, focus 100% to yourself for your own words, what you say or whatever you do. Then you will recognize the doer. So even you laughing and maybe you doing something, and while you doing that, don't look the outcome. Start to 100% be with the your own action, bodily, verbally, or mentally, and then you will see. So that is the way to go. So meditation is the method, cultivating your mind to expand your mental capacity to observe deeply and recognize. Because we are not complete in day-to-day life. We are thinking something missing. We're looking, and because of the society, because our culture, our tradition, and because no one allow, your parents, your grandparents, everyone had that gap. So you born with that gap, and then you think it as your heritage, so you keep going. That is what called samsara. If your parents, your grandparents, just think about, be honest, if your grandparents, if your ancestors had some kind of wisdom to come out of this struggle, they give it to you. But they didn't give anything like that. Why? Because they don't have anything to give. And sometimes what they give, whatever you used to do, carpenters give that skill to children, the farmers give that skill to children, the singers giving that skill to children, dancers, giving that skill to children, So if somebody have some savings, they'll give it to that children, but they never had the fulfill the gap. If they had it, you get it. So then what you have to do? Don't focus to that. Look yourself. You are a complete human being. You have fully capacity to exist yourself rather than depending from your past. So then take that fully responsibility to yourself and find that gap within yourself. Fill it. And when you give it to your children, whatever, and don't give anything with that missing that gap. And if you complete yourself, your life, you complete, you living, rather than doing action. So rather than this doing part, if you learn, if you recognize and fulfill the gap to live, and you, whoever come to you, you give that gift to them. Why? Because that is the most beautiful experience that you can have. But what we do, we just doing things. Where are you going to end? There is no end. How big this universe? That much you have to go. No path, no tracks, no time limit, no destination. You just go. But if the day come for you to forget about your past or the future or anything, and with your maximum effort to focus what you do, wherever you are, that whatever you do with your bodily, verbally or mental action, in that action, if you become 100% mindful, in that very moment you find what is the method of living. So there was a king, and this king had many difficulties with his queen and with his kingdom ministers, and many difficulties. One time this everything hit at once, this all the problem. That night he was kind of like collapse. He couldn't sleep. And then what he did? So that time he came out of the palace and start to go around his city and see just how the people, because he was so disappointed. And then he saw in another place a little hut, and the husband, wife, children, and everyone enjoying and having a kind of like a good happy moment. The king saw this and thought, oh, look how beautiful, how blessed they are. And I have this whole kingdom, but I cannot sleep. I am so unhappy. These people in this little hut, they are so happy. And the very next day, he called that he saw the ministers and share the experience. And then one minister came, the advisor, the wise man came and told, oh, dear king, there is something behind this, so I want to show it to you. So then what he did, and he asked 99 gold coins, and the king gave the treasury gave the 99 gold coins, and he put it in a bag and took it and told to the king, look, just see what's going to happen. And he opened the bag and throw that 99 gold coins around the house. And then now king and everyone observing. So these people came out next day and start to collect 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they became so happy. They became so happy, and somehow they found 99 gold coins. You know what happened then? From that day and night, 24/7, they start to look for another one more gold coin. Why? Because they thought there cannot be 99, there should be 100. So we have to find it. No? And from that day, and maybe still, they keep looking for that one gold coin. They forget that all the 99. So we are the same. So sometimes we enjoy, we just having life, but we just enjoy the doing part. Not really we have the wisdom to be with the life. So this is kind of like a dream. That's why you have to awake. That's why you have to tap to your dream and see, tap to your life and see how realistic you are, how real you are. Because when something go out of the pattern, when something start to move away, you get so mad. If it is real life, you're not going to be like that. Why? Because in the real life, in this very moment, there is no pain, no pleasure. There is no even the neutral. It's like that undescribed feelings. You complete in that completion that you are anymore not depending from the contact. So that is the secret point. Remember this. We are depending from contacts. That's why the feelings arise. But in the real life, in the real inside you, if you are not depending from, if you are find the place not depending from the contacts, there is no feelings. So that's the moment you have to get. That is where you have to dig deeply. Look, if you still, it doesn't matter that even you achieve to the samadhi, That's why even some people go to the different other existence, even the Brahma lokas. Still, it is belong to samsara. That is the Buddha's point. Why? Because if you still depending from the contacts or the feelings, remember you are in the samsara, you are in a dream. So when the mind start to get into the reality, real nature of you, in that very moment you are not more depending from any feelings. That means you are not depending from contacts. That is where you end your samsara and find the liberation. Otherwise you will keep looking for that one gold coin. You are kind of like the table holding all the Tripitaka and all the books and all the wisdom. You are like the spoon just making curry day and night 24/7 to this entire world and different taste, but you will never experience this. So my dear friends, challenge yourself and don't be spiritually, don't be lazy, don't be a bias, don't kind of like just be just a follower, don't go with the blind faith. That is not what the Buddha mentioned. So don't always be kind of like the beggar looking for happiness or the satisfaction. So you are more than that. You are more than what you think. That you are in deeper in your heart. There is so much power. There is so much life. So there is something beyond this doing. So get into that. Little by little. Have a deeper, the strong determination yourself to go into it. And break down this all the habitual patterns we carry in this samsara and try to come out of it. So in this very lifetime, you can do it. So that is what the Buddha is teaching. There are a lot of many enlightened masters in the past. There are many our ancestors and achieved to that. But somehow that it is your time. Remember and give some time, keep doing your practice and have a determination and to come out of this dream. And don't look for one missing gold coin, just be with the 99. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. May everyone stay healthy and safe, and finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ca ammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vangotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.